There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Killarney 36 Pits International Raceway, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Alan.
Sitting in second, it's JP Brand.
And like many others, they are starting the race on the alternate tyre compound.
The third position is occupied by Sean Olivier. We're seeing Peter Geldenhuys in the fourth spot. As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Rian van der Westhuizen starting in fifth position. Our sixth place starter, Martin Meyer, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track.
Martin Meyer will have wanted a better start than sixth.
The seventh starting position belongs to Francois Rasmus, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
They would have liked to be higher up, but that's not going to stop Francois Rasmus fighting their way through.
The starting signal has been given, and the drivers face the uncertainty of the first lap. With cars packed tightly together, the potential for spins or collisions is high.
This is where the real action begins. The drivers will be jostling for position and trying to gain any advantage they can.
Absolutely. It's a crucial part of the race, and the drivers will need to be on top of it to make it clear unscathed.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about them and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to everyone that Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Killarney 36 Pits International Raceway, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
I'd love to be on the track burning some rubber here, Alan.
Every lap is an opportunity for Johnny Geldenhuys to just a little bit more achievement takes her hundreds off their times.
For one, am really excited, Alan. The rivalry between Johnny Geldenhuys and Francois Rasmus has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
As the drivers come up to test their available grip is changing, and the drivers that manage this transition best are likely to make progress through the field. 3 cars, 3 different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move. A great moment for Jean-Dre Bucas, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Impressive. Jean-Dre Bucas is really showing their skill and determination out there.
3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving frame on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but that's not always enough. They're going side by side, door handle to door handle. This is as close as it gets. Close. I would not be surprised if these drivers swap positions a few times before the order gets ultimately decided.
Exactly, Alan. It's like a high-stakes chess match on wheels. These drivers are analysing every move and trying to anticipate their opponent's next move. It's a true test of their mental acuity.
It's a nail-biting showdown between these 3 drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner.
Couldn't agree more, Alan. This wheel-to-wheel racing is what fans live for. The determination and tenacity shown by these drivers to gain even the smallest advantage is simply awe-inspiring.
Robert Franco is giving it their all as they chase down Ivan Lerm in P16. Superb driving from Robert Franco, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
That's what we like to see. Robert Franco is really showing their class today.
Fantastic move from Robert Franco, who has just gained a position. JP Brand is on a mission, chasing Sean Olivier, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. JP Brand needs to be careful not to overdo it.
This is a thrilling battle as Joni Geldenhuys edges closer to Peter Geldenhuys in their fight for P5. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Martin Meyer will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Absolutely, Martin Meyer in 8th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk lightly damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Robert Franco appears to be trying to find a way around Jandre Bucas. They could make a move on this and start finish.
It looks like they have the speed to make a move. I just hope they have the patience to do it cleanly.
The race is really heating up. JP Brand is hunting down Sean Olivier with everything they've got.
JP Brand needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Sean Olivier.
Joni Geldenhuys is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard. Braking alert. I don't think that's the fastest way around KILLARNEY 36 Pits International Raceway. Alan Denyer wants to get into after-off slipstream. No room for error here. JP Brand is breathing down the neck of Sean Olivier, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by JP Brand and Sean Olivier, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Look at that, Willie Van Wyck is hot on the tail of Jamie Nicholas. The pursuit is on. Alan Denyer is closing the gap on Robert Franco, determined to claim P18. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Oh, this is getting intense. Willie Van Wyck is just behind Jamie Nicholas. The gap between Jandre Bucas and Ivan Lerm is razor thin as they vie for 14th in this nail-biting contest.
If things go wrong between Jandre Bucas and Ivan Lerm, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race tweet.
Oh, this is getting intense. Ivan Lerm is just a few car lengths behind Jandre Bucas.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Ivan Lerm is really walking that fine line.
This is what it's all about, folks. JP Brand is in hot pursuit of Sean Olivier, who's just trying to stay ahead.
JP Brand is following Sean Olivier so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
As they speed through Sabat, Willie Van Wyck is relentlessly pursuing Jamie Nichols in a high-stakes battle for position. drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Clayton has lost ground. The intensity is off the charts as Clayton hounds Abdullah, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
At this rate, Clayton and Abdurrauf are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Oh my, JP Brand is hot on the tail of Sean Olivier. As they come into cash brawl, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up on the inside. The battle for 9 is heating up as Jamie Nichols tries to catch Willie Van Wyck in P9. This is going to be a nail-biter. Ivan Lerm is defending for their life, but Clayton is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake. The tension is building as Clayton trails behind Ivan Lerm. The gap is slowly but surely. Hold on a second. Looks like that's a mistake from Philip Van Staden. This could be costly. The race is heating up as Clayton in 16th closes in on Ivan Lerm. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's going to be tough for Clayton, as Ivan Lerm seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we...
Breaking development. Oh dear, Ivan Lerm has had an incident. Wow, JP Brand is really pushing hard to catch up to Sean Olivier. There's blood in the water for second place.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either invaluable time and the position.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Alan Denyer trying. Hold on a moment. I don't think that's the fastest way around Killarney 36 Pitts International Raceway. This is where the race gets really interesting. Alan Denyer is closing in on Ivan Lerm.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
The delta between Peter Geldenhuys in 5th and Leon van der Westhuizen remains over a second, but Peter Geldenhuys is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 18 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
This is where experience comes into play. Rian van der Westhausen has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Peter Geldenhuys is hungry for success.
Breaking alert. Looks like that's a mistake from Clayton. This could be costly. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Peter Geldenhuys trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Leon van der Westhuizen. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Peter Geldenhuys in 5th determined to catch up. But we know Rian van der Westhausen isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Peter Geldenhuys is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Things are heating up as Philip Van Staden closes in on Clayton. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. The pressure is on for Ivan Lerm as they try to catch up to Robert Franco.
It's a game of strategy now as Ivan Lerm hunts down Robert Franco. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really come into play. JP Brand is chasing Sean Olivier in P2. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Ivan Lerm in 18th chases after Robert Franco. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Ivan Lerm needs to find a way to close the gap. What a move. Ivan Ivan Lerm has moved up to 17th.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
This one's going to be tough. Robert Franco is getting their elbows out, and there may not be enough time left for Alan Denyer to make a move.
It's not over yet. Alan Denyer is right on Robert Franco's tail, and if they can find just a little bit of extra speed, they might be able to make a move.
Hold on to your hats, folks. JP Brand is right on the heels of Sean Olivier, and we're in for a wild ride. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Ivan Lerm will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Absolutely, Ivan Lerm in 19th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an awful damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
JP Brand wants to close that gap with Sean Olivier. Jandre Bucas is giving it their all as they chase down Donovan Lewis in P11.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Jandre Bucas is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Donovan Lau.
Things are heating up as Willy Van Wyck tries to close the gap to Abdurrahman. JP Brand is running third. They are trying to catch Sean Olivier. Coming into Continental, the fight for 11th is heating up. Neither driver wants to be the first to win.
And the drivers know it too, Alan. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
Every move counts now as Willy Van Wyck works to reel in Abdurrahman and overtake for P13.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Seems like Clayton is getting in range of Philip Van Staden.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
It's an intense battle for position as JP Brand tries to outmaneuver Sean Olivier. This is edge of your seat racing. Francois Rasmus will be looking for a way up the inside of Peter Geldenhuis. Great driving from Francois Rasmus, who has just gained a place and moved up to 6th.
You can't argue with results like that. Francois Erasmus is really making their mark on this race.
Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are gonna need to look after their tyres and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tyres wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
It looks like Jandre Bucas is pushing hard to catch up to Donovan Lewis. That's not a small gap, but Jandre Bucas has what it takes to challenge for the position.
It's going to be tough for Jandre Bucas, as Donovan Lau seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Jandre Bucas pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
The crowd is on its feet as Donovan Lewis chases down Jandre Bucas from back. A brilliant maneuver from Donovan Liu, who has just moved up the field.
Yes, Donovan Lau is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
It's a game of inches now as Jandre Bucas tails Donovan Liu closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. The race is really heating up. JP Brand is hunting down Sean Olivier with everything they've got.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. JP Brand needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
We've got a close battle as Peter Geldenhuis closes in on Francois Ragnar. A great moment for Peter Geldenhuis, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Disappointing for Peter Geldenhuis, they now find themselves in 7th. It looks like Peter Geldenhuis is all over Martin Meyer. I think they are going to press them through Castrol and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Alan, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Martin Mayer is going to be aware of them riding their bumper.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. The adrenaline is pumping as JP Brand gets within striking distance of Sean Olivier in their race for second.
Should things go awry, JP Brand and Sean Olivier might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
Peter Geldenhuis is on a mission, chasing Martin Meyer, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Fantastic move from Peter Geldenhuis, who has just gained a position.
Impressive. Peter Geldenhuis is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Martin Meyer seems to be putting the pressure on Peter Geldenhuis. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. The pursuit is on. JP Brand is closing the gap on Sean Olivier, determined to claim P2. No room for error here. Jandre Bucas is breathing down the neck of Donovan Liu, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
This battle between JP Brand and Sean Olivier is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wheel.
In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown. What a move. Donovan Liu has moved up to 11th. Setback for Donovan Liu, who has just been passed.
Definitely, but Donovan Lau is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
It's a close race between Donovan Liu and Jandre Bucas in 11th.
It's going to be a close one. Donovan Lau will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Look at that, JP Brand is hot on the tail of Sean Olivier.
We'll have to wait to see if JP Brand can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
The race is heating up as Robert Franco in 18th closes in on Alan Denyer. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Alan Denier is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Robert Franco in P18 doing everything they can to catch up.
The gap between JP Brand and Sean Olivier is razor thin as they vie for second in this nail-biting contest.
They say rubbing is racing, but if JP Brand gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
It's a battle for position as Sean Olivier tries to make a move on JP Brand. This is what racing is all about.
As they sprint through start-finish, JP Brand will be relentlessly pursuing Sean Olivier in a high-stakes battle for position.
If JP Brand gets any closer to Sean Olivier, they will need to start sending out wedding invitations.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Donovan Lee trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Jandre Bucas. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Donovan Lau tries to reel in Jandre Bucas. But Jandre Bucas is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Donovan Lau needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Jandre Bucas and move up the field.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Peter Geldenhuis, who is currently in P7. But Francois Erasmus is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Peter Geldenhuis. It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. JP Brand must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Peter Geldenhuis trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Francois Erasmus. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. JP Brand is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
The delta between Peter Geldenhuis in 7th and Francois Erasmus remains over a second, but Peter Geldenhuis is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 2 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
This is where experience comes into play. Francois Erasmus has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Peter Geldenhuis is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. It's a thrilling pursuit as Peter Geldenhuis is right behind Francois Erasmus, keeping the pressure on for 6th place.
If Peter Geldenhuis gets any closer,
Braking alert. Looks like that's a mistake from Clayton. This could be costly. The battle for 2 is heating up as JP Brand tries to catch Sean Olivier in P2.
don't forget the role of aerodynamics. JP Brand should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Sean Olivier.
This is a thrilling battle as Peter Geldenhuis edges closer to Francois Erasmus in their fight for P5. is what high-octane racing looks like. Martin Meyer is breathing down the neck of Leon van der Westhuizen, not giving them any room to relax. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Jandre Bucas is chasing Donovan Wu in P11. JP Brand is giving it their all as they chase down Sean Olivier in P2.
This is where every inch counts. JP Brand is pushing hard to close the gap on Sean Olivier. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
The action is non-stop as Peter Geldenhuys shadows Francois Rasmus through every twist and turn, determined to claim fifth. Oh my, Jandre Bucas is hot on the tail of Donovan Wu. As they come into Castrol, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high in the...
Wait, I don't think that's the fastest way around Killarney 36 Pits International Raceway. And there it is. Danny Van Rooyen has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
What a result for Danny Van Rooyen.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from Francois Rasmus. This could be costly. What a drive from Sean Olivier, securing a great second-place finish.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second-place finish.
Well done to JP Brand for securing third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
With Joni Geldenhuys, Peter Geldenhuys, Rian van der Westhuizen, and Martin Meyer in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Taking 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th is Jamie Nichols, Francois Rasmus, Kenneth Ella, and Donovan Wu. Jandre Bucas, Abgaroth, Willie Van Wyck, and Philip Van Staden end in 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Breaking alert, it looks like Willie Van Wyck has been called into the pits. 6th, hold up, breaking info. Willie Van Wyck has decided to pit.